Hello everyone and welcome back to another YouTube video. So today I am going to do a collection video. So I've never done a collection video before, so I thought I'd do some videos focusing on specific plant groups. So just to give you a bit more detail about certain plants I like, some care tips, etc, etc. At the same time waiting for the propagation videos, obviously waiting for the flowers to grow so I can actually do the propagation videos that I've been talking about. So if I basically start with ones that I've got over this side so it's easier, then I'll turn the camera around and talk about my other ones. So I'm going to look at obviously non-hardy, hardy Sundews as well, so I'll just start and go through it. So the first one I'm going to show you is basically the first and most common Sundew you'll probably find is the Drosera. So this one is my 5-year-old adult. I did have, which I've spoken about in my previous videos, a 6-year-old adult from the very start of my collection, but that one sadly died. But this is the one remaining adult I've got left. So you can see all the previous growth on that, so it's kind of got a nice trunk on it. So I've kind of kept that. I could push it down and just have it level, but I quite like how it's turned out because it died right back down to basically to nothing over the winter, because they're not, well, they're a subtropical species of Sundew, so they are best kept inside, but they survive really easily out here as well, so they don't need a dormancy period, but they will die back down to the roots and come back. And this one's come back really nicely. So this one's actually caught a fly, which you can see in there. I could put a close-up on this video to show you of that, but that's basically their trapping mechanisms. They sometimes furl up the whole way. This one's just kind of lapped over. But if you're looking for like a nice beginner plant, then I'll definitely say Drosera. So this is the one I started with when I first started collecting my carnivorous plants, and it's really easy to take care of. They're really hard to kill, and when they flower you have to be really careful because the seed pods, they burst and you get them in all the pots. Like you'll see if you've seen it in my other videos, I've just got tons and tons of them. I've got, say at one point I had about 300, finally managed to like kind of decrease the population. I have killed off a few purely because of neglect, because I just couldn't keep up with them all, but they're all coming back really nicely. I've got some more in the greenhouse which I'll show you. So they'll start flowers soon. I think I can see a flower spike in this one, so that will come back. And then obviously again I'll show you some propagation videos. I've got tons of these seeds as well, so they'll be really easy to take care of. But this one's really nice, doesn't really require much, just keep it watered really. This one I've done really nothing with, but I'd definitely say that Drosera are a really beautiful plant to start off with. Like Venus flytraps are usually the most common one, but I definitely think that a Sundew is probably something I would probably prefer. So that's that one. Next one is lance leaf Sundew, or the Drosera filiformis. So these ones are not subtropical. They are just a temperate species. There you go, temperate species of Sundew. So this one has been in dormancy and recently only came out of dormancy, but has grown really big. So it had full growth points on this, but they make really nice bog plants. So I have put two of the divisions outside in my bog planters, which you would have seen again in my previous videos if you've obviously watched them. So this is a really nice one. This is probably the stickiest Sundew that you can get. So hence the name lance leaf Sundew. They grow up in thin stems, so they look almost roundish. They do only have dew on one side rather than covering the whole leaf, but they unfurl really nicely like that, and they basically catch anything. So they act as like a big net, so anything that flies through that will catch, and they curl up really nicely and surround the bugs. But I really like this one, especially when they come out, so they're nice display all year round with this. So obviously if you're looking for like a nice greenhouse plant or even a bog garden plant, then the filiformis is really hardy again, really easy to take care of. And next one I've got on this side is, which if you saw my previous video I talked a bit about, was the Drosera. So this one is the variety Dictamata. So it has these really nice big like staghorny type leaves. This one has fully come out now, as you can see, and they just produce so much dew as well. Like if you want a really dewy plant, again the Drosera is a really nice one to go for. So as you can see, this one's got loads of growth points. So I did divide loads. I've got loads of pots of them, but they've continued to come back. This one's a massive cluster, and that it's just going to get massive. So in the summer it's just going to be a massive tangly mess, which I think is going to look really nice though. I've put some of this as well in one of my bog planters outside, because again I think that'll make a really nice display. It'll be really effective for catching bugs. So that's the 3 I've got on this side of the greenhouse, because like I said, I am moving stuff over. So for the rest of the ones I'm going to show you, I will turn the camera around and explain a bit more. Probably won't go into much more detail with the other ones. I'm just kind of pointing at my favourites. Like, these are probably the best 3 like beginner plants. They're really hardy, especially Drosera, especially the common variety, which has just got the 2 forked leaves, which hence the name. Their common name is the fork leaf Sundew. So that's a really nice one. They get wild stuff. They're really hardy. They can survive both indoor outdoor temperatures. Same with the Capensis. They're quite tolerable of different conditions. Filiformis, again, really easy, I would say, to take care of. So these I'd say if you're looking for a Sundew, they are kind of your like 3 beginner type plants. But I'll show you the rest of what I've got, go into a bit of detail of them. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one, which is a Drosera rotundifolia. So it's actually in a pot with one of my Sarracenias. So one of the Sarracenias I've brought, and it's come up in the pots. So I was really happy with that, because I don't have one of these in my collection. So they're another temperate Sundew, and they're again really hardy. You find them in England basically, and they form a hibernate over winter to protect themselves. And this one recently come up, so I was surprised to find it in the pot, because obviously I didn't know it was there. And I'm really happy with this one. I am going to remove it soon once it grows a bit bigger and put it in my outdoor bog gardens, because that'd be nice. So because obviously they come from the country where I live in, then I'm guessing that they'll be basically fine in the bog pots. So that one will be in addition to my bog pots. So if we go over here, I've got some Drosera spatulata. Again, I have never brought one of these, but I've had tons of them come in with a Hampshire order that I've had. So I thought this was really nice again for obviously 3 plants, because we've got quite a lot of them as well. And these bigger ones are flowering, so you see a couple of little ones are flowering. Now they're quite small in size, they can get bigger, but because of the sunlight in my greenhouse, they've kind of stayed nice and compact, but again, covered in dew and are looking really nice. So when that flowers, I think obviously I'll self-pollinate that and get the seeds from it. But again, that one is a subtropical type of species Sundew. Again, really hardy, so another beginner type plant, and will survive still in the greenhouse over winter despite not needing the dormancy period. Where obviously again these are the Filiformis that do need a dormancy period, as well as the Banata as well, which I again forgot to say before, was both of these are temperate Sundews, so they require a dormancy period. The Drosera Banata will die down basically to like the roots and come back, so you can see with like this one's only got 1 leaf on, but eventually there will be more starting to come out. So again, in one of my Venus flytrap pots I've got some more Capensis. Like I said, they come up everywhere. Another just common Banata, which is the 2 forks there. Cluster of Banata at the back. As I said, they spread like weeds basically, and they come easily again from roots as well. I planted a big pot of the roots when I divided them, and I'm going to get loads of them come up, so I'm going to have loads of these. Come over here, so I've got some smaller Sundews in here. So I put some pygmy Sundews, some Drosera spatulata in there, Capensis on the side there, on this little hill that I made on the Sundew cottage. So again over here I've got loads of Capensis again. So like I said, they spread like weeds. These are all from seed. I've only ever brought 1 Capensis, and these are all just ones that have come from the same mother plant or have just self-sown in all my pots, and I've had to divide them. So obviously, like I said, I did have more, but I only kept a few because I don't want tons and tons of these, because I won't have the space for them. But some of them are really big and they're looking really nice at the moment, so I do really like these plants. I've always loved the Capensis, but they do grow like weeds. So this is another pygmy Sundew pot. I'll show you how my pygmy Sundews are doing any second. So I've got basically mixed ones, and that's my last remaining adult Scorpiodes. So these are my pygmy Sundews here. Now I did do a Gammier video when I sowed some of these, and which I think was the Speleos and the Rosanna. So Speleos are now all here. So I've got some really bright red intensity colour. All my Scorpiodes, which are my favourite pygmy sundews out of all of them. So if you're looking for a really different Drosera species to go for, then a pygmy sundew is a really nice one. There's so many different types of these, you could cross them as well to get like loads of different ones. But Scorpiodes are really nice, upright standing species of sundew with like these lovely like traps on them. So they're called the shaggy sundew because when they grow up they are quite messy. So if we go back to this one, you can see how they kind of grow from like the previous dead leaves and then grow up. So they are quite messy, so that's another reason why people don't really like them as much. But I really like them. So we've got the Drosera pulchella here, which is my first pygmy sundew. I've only got a couple of them left now, which have died off, but hopefully when it comes winter I'll collect some gameo for that and resow them. And I've got some Manio Crossamissa. A lot of them did die off, but a few of them, as you can see, are coming back. So they're not the healthiest looking, but I'm happy that since putting them out in the greenhouse, they are starting to come back, especially they're colouring up really nicely as well. So I've got a few pots of this Pulchella cross Natuda. So that's a really nice cross. So I've got a few pots of that. This one, there's only 3 left in it because I divided them up and put them into that pygmy pot, the blue one over there, and these ones over here. So that's basically a rundown of most of my sundews. I will show you quickly my Drosera regia, the king sundew, but it isn't looking that great as previous videos, but because it is my favourite I will just show it quickly. Okay, so the only plant or the only sundew that I have missed out so far is the Drosera regia, but I do believe it's worth talking about because I do love this plant. It is growing a bit weird, but I do believe that's because I've recently moved it into my greenhouse and it's getting a lot stronger sun than it did inside. So I'm slowly accumulating it to the sun, and it's not dying or anything, it is just, I would say, adjusting. Like you see, it's got a bit of sunburn on its leaves there, and the leaves are producing a bit weirdly, but I'm not worried about it. I do think it's going to come back. I know they're renowned, these ones are quite difficult to grow, they're renowned for their kind of bad behaviour type thing, so they are quite picky with their conditions, but it is coming back really nicely, and I'm hoping that once it starts adjusting to the environment in the greenhouse, it will grow a lot quicker and, you know, really big this year. So I'm still looking forward to growing that one. I just thought it was worth a mention because it is my favourite and I can't miss that one out. But I think that is most of mine. I do have so like this one, which I did miss out, is my Drosera lacey. So the old adult plant was there, and this is like a young one that's grown at the side. I did have a few more of these, but they did die off suddenly over the winter. They did get aphids. A few of these Capensis did, hence the odd shape, I would say, of some of these. So that is aphid damage. I've cleared all the aphids off now, but so as you can see, they are slowly coming back, so they're growing upright again, and their leaves are finally looking better. But because I kind of neglected the aphid damage from them, I did lose a few plants, but I'm not worried about that because they're quite easy to propagate, so I'll just get myself some more, or I could buy some more. But that is basically all of my sundews. I will do some more collection videos in the future, so I'll show you like some Sarracens because that's my second favourite genus of carnivorous plants, and I'll do some like fly trap collection videos as well. But that's everything I've got to talk about today, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching.